Oftentimes, when people consider making the move to freelancing, one of the first lines of inquiry is whether they'd make more or less working on their own than in a typical 9-to-5 full-time job. So, in the battle of freelancer versus employee, do freelancers come out on top? Today we'll check out everything about employees versus freelancers. Number 9. What is a freelancer? A freelancer is a self-employed person who pays their own income tax, known as self-employment tax, doesn't usually have employees, but may outsource work for specific projects, has full control over where they work. For example, they'll often work remotely, and has control over their work hours. Doesn't receive benefits from the companies they work with, such as workers' compensation, also known as workers' comp, or healthcare. Usually has multiple clients and projects on the go at any one time. Freelancers are not permanently employed by one person or company. Work on shorter and smaller projects with a client. Determines their own rates and whether they charge hourly or by project. Common freelance professions include copywriters, transcribers, editors, web developers, designers, and even photographers. Number 8. What is an employee? An employee is someone who works for one company on a more permanent basis and is either paid hourly, a salary, a commission, or a combination. Usually works from the company offices, though with the emergence of remote working, some employees have negotiated to work from home. Works within the confines of a contract, which details the job description, salary, and work hours. Relies on their employer to withhold income and Federal Insurance Contributions Act, also known as FICA taxes, and Social Security and Medicare taxes, which are automatically deducted from wages. Is entitled to certain benefits. Example, unemployment insurance and workers' comp, which are also automatically taken from their paycheck. Number 7. Is a freelancer an employee? When discussing the difference between freelancers and employees, the employer must clearly define the employment status based on an employee or freelancer's employment relationship with their employer. Moreover, there are significant differences between the taxation of employees and independent contractors. Primarily, 3 aspects are examined in an employment relationship for accurate classification. These aspects, namely, are financial control, behavioral control, and relationship control. Together, these factors create a strict boundary line between freelancers and employees working full-time. Number 6. Difference between freelancers and employees. There is a dilemma for the employers on whether to opt freelance or an employee for the job. Here, we have listed all the core differences between freelancers and employees working full-time. Permanency. A freelancer employee delivers a specific job within a set period. Since freelancers are independent contractors, they don't sign any written agreement or contract with employers permanently. However, full-time employees must sign an employment contract with defined terms and conditions intrinsic to a permanent position. Hence, full-time employees have a longer tenure and higher job security than freelancers. Employment taxes. This is a vital difference between freelancers and employees. Before paychecks are released, employers must take charge of their employees' taxes. They deduct a certain percentage of the employee's salary as tax, which usually includes Social Security and Medicare tax. Contrarily, self-employed individuals pay personal income tax and self-employment tax. Employment benefits. Another significant difference between freelancers and employees is that unlike full-time workers, freelancers don't enjoy employment benefits. They don't get paid vacations, maternity leave, annual leaves, etc., while full-time employees are entitled to medical insurance and retirement benefits. Freelancers are not. Payment terms. Freelancers set rates for specific services. A freelancer may demand a higher rate than full-time employees, but they work only for a limited duration. Employers offer a fixed annual salary and benefits to a candidate. Number 5. Pros of hiring freelancers. These are the benefits of hiring independent contractors or freelancers. Reduced costs. Having workers who work remotely significantly reduces the costs of having an office premise and maintaining staff. Also, employers need not offer additional benefits and perks like retirement benefits, health insurance, Social Security, etc. So, even if the freelancer is expensive, the overall cost decreases substantially. Reduced risk. A majority of businesses recruit freelancers on a project-by-project basis. Because freelancing is not a full-time job, an employer can cancel their deal with the freelancer if they fail to perform well. It is beneficial in states where freelancers or at-will employees benefit from exemptions under state laws. Thus, employers are at a reduced risk of making drastic personnel changes if they hire freelancers. Simple hiring process. Various online freelance platforms make hiring freelancers a breeze. With a limited budget, you may discover IT professionals, marketers, designers, assistants, academics, writers, accountants, and other professionals who work as freelancers. The approach is quick and saves money over a traditional hiring process. Furthermore, since there are no geographical restrictions, you can hire skilled freelancers worldwide. Number 4. Cons of hiring freelancers. Here is the downside of hiring freelancers. Challenges in establishing company culture. Establishing a company culture with independent workers is often challenging due to the lack of adequate supervision. While freelancers might work with you for longer terms, they are usually not wholly invested in your company's success. Their main goal is to maximize their earnings. Unavailability and unresponsiveness. Freelancers' working hours and time zones might differ from yours. Unlike full-time employees who report to the office within a set time, freelancers don't need to do so. Instead, they work at their preferred time. Hence, hiring freelancers is not a wise option for time-sensitive work that requires them to be at your beck and call. Lack of effective communication and management. While hiring freelancers is cheaper on average, it could cost you more in the long haul if your remote team isn't managed well. Hence, to maintain a smooth workflow, employers must hire a project manager to monitor all employees, whether working full-time or at will. A lack of communication between you and the freelancers will adversely impact your projects. Number 3. Pros of hiring full-time employees. There are benefits of hiring full-time employees. Loyalty. Full-time employees are generally more loyal to their organizations. They have a sense of job stability while receiving numerous perks from their employers, like health insurance, retirement benefits, etc. In addition, when employees see that employers are invested in their growth, they perform better. Cost effective. The upfront cost of hiring employees might be expensive, but it pays off well in the long run. Happy and satisfied workers are highly productive and motivated. Hence, a happy workforce can drive your company towards success. Number 2. Cons of hiring full-time employees. Here are some disadvantages of hiring traditional full-time employees. An average work week of 40+ hours. Full-time employees must typically work for at least 40 hours per week. Working day in and day out in a fixed routine can get monotonous quickly, thereby hampering employees' productivity and mental health. Greater requirements for employee training. Employers must regularly invest in employee training and upskilling if they wish to stay ahead in the game. Employee onboarding, orientation, and training are some mandatory costs that companies must incur at regular intervals. This is not required for part-time employees or freelancers. Increase in labor costs. Full-time employees cost more in payroll because they work more hours over a long tenure. So, if you hire a full-time employee, make sure they provide a considerable return on investment for the company. If not, you're overpaying for a resource that doesn't create value for the organization. Number 1. Conclusion. We hope now you have much better clarity on the difference between freelancers and employees. Questions pertaining to freelance versus employee. While each has its unique advantages and disadvantages, employees can reap optimal results if they know how and when to employ freelancers and full-time employees for case-specific tasks. The hiring decision ultimately depends on an employer's requirements and the resources they are willing to spend on a professional. So, are you a freelancer or an employee? Thanks for watching.